Welcome, wandering souls, to a very special edition of the Black Rabbit Society. Before we go any further, this is an actual play of Call of Cthulhu, so it's horror. So we have adults, we're going to use some adult language and talk about some stuff that is potentially adult situations. Consider this your blanket warning up front. This evening's entertainment features only two of our regular band of harrowed investigators. We have Ben playing Tommy Cole.
I'm wearing black in honor of my own demise.
And Drew playing Horace.
Hello.
Before we get into the recap and all the rest, we have some shoutouts and stuff. Music, which you should be able to hear the dulcet tones coming through, is, as always, from Syrinscape. Peter Edgar, the wonderful, the talented, did our character art. You can find him on patreon.com/thedungeonsketcher. That's the Dungeon Sketcher on Patreon. And then finally, Joel, who cannot be here this evening because his character is most assuredly alive, unlike our investigators this evening, who are in some sort of interstitial space. But when he's here and plays Professor Devenald, he shares his wonderful, warm bass to our more tenors. He also runs Curse of Strahd. You can find that at StartPlaying.Games/GM/Leonidas-Games. Leonidas-Games, like the Spartan King. It's also Subtober, so you can get some discounts. It'd be super awesome if you would throw some subscriptions our way. I know it sucks that apparently they've changed the rules for how it works with gift subs and stuff. It's just awesome that you're here. We have Dungeons & Dragons Wednesday night, we have Call of Cthulhu Tuesday night, and we have some other things coming up soon. But enough of that for now. Last time, our investigators dealt with the two Cartwrights, two generations pivoted, placed against each other, vast power to tear apart the universe, to remake it, or do something else entirely. Horace and the professor spent a great deal of time going through arcane tomes and texts and finding a series of rituals which they were pretty sure would be able to do something to help out, and it didn't matter because Olive took the worm from Tommy's unconscious body and proceeded to smash it onto the younger of the two Cartwrights. It grew to distended size, and Olive went to what is appearing to become a regular solution to problems, which is making a Molotov cocktail and lighting the place on fire. The other investigators managed to escape and barely survive. Horace Young, well in an inflamed building, walked through a gateway to somewhere else entirely, and after the rest of the investigators had escaped, they realized they had left Tommy inside the mansion. Fortunately, gates are unstable things, and already out of phase with the reality he was in, one of the discoveries our investigators made last time, he also was pulled through. And we now join Horace and Tommy Cole somewhere a bit different than where they thought they were. But before any of that, I need each of you to make a con roll.
There is Tommy. Sorry, I'm rolling for 2, so I've got to flip things back and forth.
Oh, wonderful.
Hey.
Both of you have recovered from your major wounds.
Good
Tommy,
sign.
you recover 4 hit points, and Horace, you're going to recover 3. So you should still both be pretty banged up. But as you slowly come to in a small, poorly stained motorboat that is gently bobbing on some form of water, things start to come back to you slowly. Horace, you have been heavily bandaged. There is no longer a knife in your gut. I'm not sure if you have had surgery or anything of the sort before. You feel better than you remember feeling, but you still feel like things could be better. Tommy, you're pretty sure your ribs are no longer broken. They're not necessarily entirely healed. A good hit could put you back out pretty quick. And you both each start to slowly come to. And you see that, yes, the two of you are in the clothes you last remember wearing. Bloodstained and filthy. The reality of your situation comes in bits and pieces. And what first catches your eyes is off in the direction of the sun, which is starting to come up, starting to warm the day. You get the feeling it's morning, is a suspension-style bridge that is in ruins. That you look around and you realize that actually you are in a flooded city. You're in the midst of a street. There are, in the area around you, there's a bunch of banners. They're yellow with a white kind of an X that's off-centered, like it's tilted and off to the side. There's a basket at the foot of the motorboat, next to an old, solid engine. The entire thing smells of diesel, so you're pretty sure it has fuel in it. Inside the basket are 2 revolvers, a hatchet, the knife that was inside of you, Horace, and a folded piece of paper.
Good morning.
I'm with
Thomas.
Horace. Where's everyone else?
Oh, a long ways away.
Horace, where are we? You're scaring me.
We are everywhere. And nowhere. Does anything look familiar?
You could make a roll to try to get some understanding of stuff going on. You can do spot hidden to try to catch something like street signs. Again, you're in a very flooded city. You're in the middle of what was once a road. There is a lot in ruins around you. You could do an education roll. You could to try to figure out some things. Tommy, I believe you have some sort of military skill. A firearms roll would give some information.
Yeah, I'll make a firearms roll to kind of get an idea of, I guess, the situation we're in. Just for my own sake, are we in a basket or there's a basket next to us?
There is a small basket at the foot of the motorboat next to the engines, kind of nestled in there. When I say small basket, I'm saying like a foot across.
Mm.
Now, firearms, which
is the boat moving
sub-skill
as well? Sorry.
I didn't catch that.
Which firearm skill is being rolled for Tommy?
His rifle shotgun.
Shotgun, okay. So failure on the education for Horace, success for Tommy.
You're close if you wanted to spend some luck.
I will spend a few points.
You're good.
You don't need it, me, because I'm 4 away. How much luck do I have?
Well, Horace is studying the buildings. Tommy, you get a better look of kind of what's going on, what's happening, and there's been fighting here. There's a lot of evidence of buildings are pocked with small arms fire. There's evidence that there's been not a lot of explosions, but some artillery or something heavier than a small arms fire here and there. There's some buildings in that specific state of damage where it's like something heavy and big has hit this. It's not just the flooding. So it looks like there's been fighting here.
And yes, I am going to spend the 4 luck to make that a success.
Yeah, so with that, you look around and you see that you're at the nearby street corner, which again is flooded, appears to be at the corner of Madison and Grand. And with that, and you look over, that would make the bridge that's been ruined the Williamsburg Bridge. So you are way near the southern tip of Manhattan. Not quite as far south as it goes, but lower east side.
I'm sorry, is the boat moving or is it just...
Well, you're bobbing, you're drifting.
Yeah, okay.
The engine's off, but you're not anchored or tethered to anything.
How does the water look?
Filthy. There is the detritus of a city, complete with a sewer system in and around. It's brackish and dark. Looking around, you judge that it's at least, depending how good a quality the city below it is, it's at least 2 or 3 feet deep at where you are, which would mean like Manhattan's not flat. Mm-hmm. So some parts are probably above water and some parts are going to be a lot lower.
Okay. A long ways.
I don't like the look of any of this, Horace.
I suppose not.
This is Manhattan, but
when?
This is different.
It's going to be not as it was for another 100 years. What?
Quick thing, Drew. You need to switch you and Tommy's video.
What?
You are Tommy and he is Horace on the feed.
That is fine. I can do that.
I am going to take the small folded over note because I don't really want to put my head up that much above the boat. I'm going to stay low and I'm going to grab this note on the back from the basket.
It says, "Doors are swinging shut. The beast begins to depart. Hurry to where it began. LP." Like it's signed someone whose initials are LP.
That doesn't mean anything to me, I don't think. Horace, does LP mean anything to you?
I don't think so.
I have no notes that you have met anyone with initials LP.
That's what I thought.
I also thought that.
It may not be that we don't. It may be that we don't meet for years to come.
Okay. Well, I'm inclined to trust this mysterious note. If it's saying, wait, what happened? Why are we here?
Oh,
what happened at the car?
Who's to say? Everything and nothing. Some things were open, some closed. We entered the house to some distress. Edmund had killed several of the was rather keeping his father hostage. Said that he wished for us to help him. The professor and I studied in the library. It was, as Ernst said, protected from machinations of the fault.
Oh no, we lost him.
Oh no, that is catastrophic.
Hey, bear with us, folks. We hope to get Ben back.
Ooh.
Oh no! It's also funny because it also messes up where we are in the thing.
Yeah, we're both just peeking over.
Mm.
We are in the right
Hello.
boxes though. Oh, here he comes.
Ah!
Any second now.
Sorry about that.
Oh. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good. We survived.
Tommy just flickers in and out of existence for a second.
Yeah. Just a moment. For a treat.
But what happened to the Cartwrights then? Where did the others go? What happened? Why does Manhattan look like this?
It's Olive and I went to speak with Edmund. Horace kind of starts, puts his hand on the bandages around his stomach. He was not happy to see me. Oh, a blur. A worm. Edmund and then not Edmund. Olive up in flames. And the gateway. The gateway to everything. And now I'm here.
And you took me through this gateway?
Not by my own choice. Although it seems they were conquerors.
What about the others then? Did they get out? Did they go through too?
Who is possibly to say? I'm afraid I know little more than you. Such is the beauty. I suppose we must be dead then. And they have simply not joined us.
I don't feel dead. Do you?
In some ways, I feel more alive than I ever have. But who among us has ever been dead before? How do we not know that this is simply what it's like?
I just assumed it would be less or more. This is just different.
One thing I have learned in recent days is assumptions are rarely congruent with reality. I assumed, for example, that time flows in a straight line. Things proceeding one after the next, cause to effect. That was until I came across my own notes that I have not made yet. It's not the first time I have tried to solve this riddle. I do not know how many times I have. Sometimes days, sometimes weeks, months, years, but always back to here. Back to knowing nothing. Back to failure. And discovery.
Okay, Horace, I'd like to remain optimistic about our situation right now. I'd like to assume that we're not dead, but you are telling the truth about a gate, and that we need to go back through it somehow.
Possibly.
Now, this note says to go back to where it began. So that implies we should go to the Black Rabbit.
A clever deduction, yes.
Perhaps
this is simply where it's gone, no?
I don't trust anything around me right now. So I'd like to do so as quietly as possible.
That is... Yes, I shall defer to you on these matters.
And before I do anything else, I guess I'd like to just spot hidden for movement.
Mm-hmm.
Anything living. Like
Anything living. Yeah.
I guess firstly, are there trees about? Just curious about that in general. Like, are there trees poking out of the water?
Yeah. Give me that spot hidden and I'll go through it, then answer any sub questions you have.
Alright, cool. Horace, you could help me out here.
Gotcha. Spot hidden. It's right there.
So Tommy,
No.
you look about and you can see evidence of like trees. There have been some further up Grand Street, and most of them look like they've been pretty battered. So a lot of them are at angles that would have been suggested they've been blown over or rammed into, or something's happened to them. You see evidence of birds here and there. If you peek over into the water and watch it for a bit, there is evidence of fish or something moving in the water, but it's pretty dark, so it's hard to say, if there's a lot of them, what's the deal going on there. You don't see any evidence of people. You do, watching for a minute or two, see evidence of, just kind of watch around, but there's bugs, there's stuff of like, you'll peek a rat or something scurrying through a blown out building.
Okay. So this hasn't killed off all life around the area, but it's pretty close to it. I'm gonna hand Horace, you said there's 2 revolvers, so I'm gonna hand Horace one of the revolvers.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, you fired one of these before, right?
Oh, possibly years ago.
Let's hope we don't have to, but I think everyone else is at the moment, kind of indicating the bullet marks.
Yes.
And I'm gonna holster the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know the directions to the Black Rabbit. I'm not from Manhattan, but
If you're in the Lower East, it's over in Greenwich, so you'd have to putter over the entire width of Manhattan almost, and then north a bit.
not paddling that, am I? Okay. I will begrudgingly check if the engine is running.
It's got fuel. You'd have to pull start it.
I'm going to sigh and say, keep your eyes out. And then I'm going to pull on the thing to try and get it started.
Yep. It turns over pretty easily and sputters into life, doing the pum, 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 pum. And you start to head up Grand Street.
All right. And I guess we're just trying to beeline as easily as possible to the Black Rabbit.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm very much trying to stay alert for anything that moves.
Yeah. While you're puttering along, anything particular you're doing, Horace?
I should like to take the knife, as it's fitting, and then flip through my dream journal that I should have on me.
You don't.
Ah,
And with noticing of that, you turn out your pockets, and you've got nothing that you had in your pockets before.
well. Excuse me. How unfortunate. I was going to say, can I do some bird watching?
Mm-hmm.
Always smart in this game.
Can I get another spot hidden for Tommy and one for Horace then?
Yes, you can. For Tommy, it's a 39.
Oh,
35.
yeah.
Ooh, that's just off.
That's just off, yeah.
I will spend the luck for that then, please.
For luck. Then... So that ends up being a success for Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't imagine this is gonna work.
No.
A 10,
Or
a
it will.
hard success for Horace.
Okay, so you head up Grand to a little bit of a parkway when you hear off towards the north the ringing of church bells. Syrinscape, no! There we go. And you realize you could zigzag up to swing by the church and still make it in the right direction, or you could, steer around it and avoid whatever is going on with the church bells. From bird watching, you're struck by how quickly things have kind of reached a state of normalcy already. There's birds near the water's edge pecking out garbage and whatever from the water looking for food. Gulls are scavenging through piles of rubble, making nests. Horace is struck by how much, life seems fine. From that looking, you also see some other bits, and with a hard success, some oddities. You see that there's a lot of newspapers and flyers up for things you don't recognize. You see that there are a number of handbills that's been put up for the social justice movement. which seems to be, from glancing at it, talking a lot about the need for a strong hand to lead America, the importance of a return to nobility and the right hierarchy for the world and things. You also notice that there's just other movie posters and you also notice a lack of things. There's no advertisements for jazz clubs or cabarets or anything. There's only advertisements for opera and for classical shows. There's a number of, advertisements for movies and for other entertainments, plays that seem to be a lot more inspired by the antebellum era.
Are there any dates? Find any dates?
Yeah, it is 25.
And just from, we were in 23?
Yep. So you did hear church bells, Tommy, and you're kind of puttering the boat right now. Did you want to steer towards the church bells, or did you want to keep going?
I don't want to go near the church bells. Once I hear them, I kind of will crouch down. I'm not going to cut off the engine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kind of pull off the throttle if there is one or anything, just to kind of like slow us down a bit.
Yeah.
I'll say, Horace, do you think those would be automatic, or do you think someone's doing that?
Did it sound... Firstly, did I hear the church bells?
Yep.
Okay. Were they sounding out a particular time?
No. They rang twice.
Okay, and it's morning, so that wouldn't...
It's morning.
Okay.
And not like 2 in the morning. It's
right. It's the sun's coming up. Yeah.
Hmm.
It would have to be a poorly maintained bell tower. Seems someone wants to get some attention.
Is that really our responsibility right now?
What is responsibility? The war has come and gone. All that was to happen has. You were a soldier, yes?
For my sins?
How many birds did you see in the trenches?
They come by after a few days of battle, but building up to it, it's like they knew. They'd all get out.
Bells go off 3 more times.
3 more times?
I think we should go look. I want to know what's going on here.
I am of a mind to agree with you.
Don't let go of that gun. And I head us towards the church.
Yeah. Are you going to try to be stealthy, or are you just going to go forward with it?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'd like to. Does it seem particularly far? Because I'd ideally like to cut off the engines and like paddle us.
Going to be at least 4 or 5 blocks.
I'll go for maybe a block or 2, and then kind of let us like float / bit of pushing just to keep us going.
Yeah. Give me a stealth roll for that.
You could, Horace. I got faith in us.
Keep forgetting that that's me. Stealth roll for Tommy. $46. That is a success.
Yeah. So you pull off cutting the engine just as you planned. You manage to grab a longer bow because there's no pedals in here, and you're kind of using it to poke along and keep yourselves moving. You have some good momentum. It's a bit of a zigzag, and you actually pull up around St. Patrick's Basilica. So a big old Catholic style building. There's a brick low wall, about 5-6, would be, when there's no water, it'd be 5-6 feet tall around it. And it looks like the inside has been built up a bit, and this wall has held back the water a bit. And as you're getting closer, you hear the murmuring of people, and you smell a little bit of smoke in the air, and you're able to you're about half a block away, and no one's noticed you. You kind of have two main options the way I see it, but you might be able to think of more. You can kind of rope the boat to a building and clamber up onto a fire escape to get a good look from where you are, or you're going to have to move closer. Which at some point, because again, it's surrounded by, like, it's a church surrounded by buildings that are minimum 3 to 4 stories tall. You get straight lines to look down streets, but it's harder to look in towards things.
I just don't know if I believe so many people could survive here, and the kind of people that could survive here we want to meet.
It couldn't hurt to take a look.
What are we gonna say? Hey, we just came here from a different dimension. Do you mind telling us what's going on?
No. I believe one of us could clamber up onto one of these buildings and simply peer inside.
This seems like a distraction.
From what?
Getting out of here. But I'm inclined to see what's going on.
Indeed.
Do we have some rope? I kind of look around.
Mm-hmm. You have enough to tie the boat off.
If I am correct, we have all the time in the world.
Well, that sure is comforting. Alright. Come on then. Let's have a look at this, and we'll sort of hitch ourselves to a fire escape climb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you clamber up a couple stories and are able to get kind of an angle looking down. The grounds of the church are filled with people, and you can see it looks like there's a number of boats moored at the far end of the church grounds in the direction you came, so that the northern end. There's a crowd of a few dozen people there, and the front of the church has more of those yellow flags hanging from it, and you see there's a pile of books out front, and there appear to be two men in what look a lot like doughboy outfits, so American infantry, which are they have diesel cans, and they're just pouring diesel on the books. And there's another figure who's at the front, who looks like they're also in a military uniform, but the the details are all wrong for the American military. They don't have the right. And you're at a distance, you can't see but like something just looks and feels off about it. There's things that look wrong. But you can hear over the wind as this person at the front, whoever appears to be in charge of this, they pull out a megaphone and they're yelling to the crowd. And he says, "And you're the first to draw the first words, the preparation for all who would come. The one who lies, who mourns, who rules." And they walked forth from the first, and the beasts followed in their wake. And then there's cheering from the crowd. And he goes on again. He continues, says, and here we live, the survivors who went past this, who survived. We're the ones who threw off the words of the liar, the words of the false rulers. And still, that's how we survive. And he takes a, looks like just a wooden torch from, you now see there's a kid standing kind of behind next to him, and he tosses it onto the books. And there's a conflagration as it goes up. And there's more whooping and cheers from the group. And it disturbs a whole spell of birds with the sudden smoke and fire.
Okay, well that confirmed we should go nowhere fucking near that.
I don't suppose from this distance I could see anything about the books.
No.
Yeah.
Horace, we have zero reason to go over that. Like,
there may be things to learn.
From the nice military men burning books.
I don't have any books with me.
I
Believe
don't
me,
know if that's enough.
I already checked.
What could we learn from them? We should just go to the Black Rabbit and try and see if this note's right, see if there's a way to get back.
There is something I have to know. I need not put you in danger. We can go a block down and I can walk around. Because you said it's about 3 feet deep here, right?
Yeah.
Just one thing.
I don't know if
I have to ask. I don't even need to enter.
What do you need to know? What
I want to know
what could
if
be
they
possibly
know...
more important than trying to get out of here?
I want to know if they know my name. If I did this. If I am the liar.
You said the dates were 1925, right? So, is this it? Is this the future? Is this what happens when you write about it?
It is not... It does not have to be the future. Imagine that when the world breaks, such as happens with the folds, like a mirror snapping into pieces, it creates reflections, near images of themselves that proceed on in their own directions. New worlds from the breaking of the first. New futures. Perhaps prophetic, perhaps simply warnings. Perhaps.
If you need to clean your conscience, I'll take you a block away. You can walk over. You can ask your question. But if you don't come back in 10 minutes, I'm going to the Black Rabbit alone. And I have no interest in seeing those people.
Of course.
All right, let's go. And we'll head back to the boat.
Okay. So are you kind of keeping the boat where it is, and Horace is going to paddle?
I'm going to try and get him a little bit closer, if it's possible to continue. So
Yes.
you sort of implied we could zigzag through some blocks to get,
Well,
and then he would walk around to the church.
You did zigzag for some blocks.
Okay.
You're pretty close now. You're only about a block and change away. There is some whooping and excitement from them, so you might be quiet enough to get close, but
I was hoping to get a little bit closer, just so Horace is as close as he can be. I do want Horace to come back. I do.
Mhm.
So I will kind of I guess at least paddle across the street to be a little bit nearer with
Okay.
Horace before I go. All right, I'm gonna wait here, and I think I'll just sort of try and keep watch. But I'm staying on the boat. I'm not getting a higher vantage point.
okay. So, for my clarification, are you getting him to the block that the church is on? Because then you can get him right up to that brick wall, and he can kind of clamber over it.
Yes, I think I'll do that. Yeah, I think I'll go right over to the brick wall if I can kind of.
Yeah. I mean, then if you keep your head down and you're just kind of paddling, no one's gonna see you get no one's looking over in your way. So you're gonna be able to get really close. So that's no problem. For Horace, you can just clamber over and drop down into the churchyard.
How high is the wall on the other side?
It's about 6 feet.
Okay. Does there look from here, before I hop over, so peeking above the boat, above the wall, does there look like any easy way of getting back up over?
Not around this side. There is a tree nearby that'd be your way over. If you didn't want to just do it, but there looks like everything they've built to make things easier is over where the rest of the boats are, and it looks like there is a recently constructed, made from, reclaimed wood. There's a little staircase that goes out to a little dock. Where you are, you can hear them. There's yelling and revelry. It sounds like it's something of a party. They might have drinks or something out. You can almost feel the heat of the fire from here.
15 minutes. And then he'll hop over.
Oh yeah, I'll be 12 and a half. Also, remember your gun, but keep that hidden.
Yes. Tuck the gun back behind his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Hands in pockets, trying to be as nonchalant as possible. Walk towards the party. towards the bonfire.
As you are closer, another person, red in the cheeks and nose, obviously well in their drink, claps you over the shoulder as you come close and hands you a bottle of something.
Oh, thank you. Danke.
It's always welcome to see new folks around the fire.
Of course. And what is your name?
Marion.
Marion. A pleasure to meet you.
Well, you just gonna hold on to it or take a swig?
If I may ask, what is the occasion? Is he gonna eat swirl? Is a bottle?
Oh, it's a pretty solid size, thing, like a full whiskey bottle.
Okay. Does it have any like recognizable marking on it to indicate what it is?
You can take a smell, and you know it's definitely in the general family of whiskey bourbonish.
Okay. Yeah, just like swirling it, sniffing while he asks that.
But you say what it's the equation, he gives you a look. He goes, what do you mean, what's the occasion?
I have been away from things for some time. Forgive my ignorance, but I am not well acquainted with the world anymore.
So he's still got that arm around your shoulder, and he starts to just steer you up towards the person in charge.
Uh-oh.
He goes, well, I gotta check with the commandant what we're supposed to do with you then. I don't know much about what we're supposed to do with folks that are ignorant of things.
Oh, that's fine. If you could simply answer a question for me. Perhaps I may be wrong. Does this have anything to do with Horace Young?
Who in tarnation's Horace Young?
No one important. One of the names I remember. Commandant.
Yeah, he kind of shoves you in front of the commandant. It appears to be the person in the slave bearer uniform. You see he's got a badge over his heart that matches those flags that you've seen. And he goes, Marion, what do we have here? He goes, someone who said he doesn't know what day it is. Oh, Mr.
Spengler.
Spengler.
You can call me Alfred.
Mr. Spengler, what brings you to St. Patrick's?
What brings any of us to St. Patrick's? Simply the wanderings of a lost soul. Trying to find his way in a world that has suddenly become unfamiliar to him. As if all his life he trod through it without knowing what lay beneath.
Alfred, was it?
Quite.
Would you say you don't have the foggiest idea what's happening here then?
There are things I could quite clearly surmise.
No, I'm a simple man. I'd prefer you spoke simply. Don't need no surmise.
Very well. I could guess that you all are survivors. You have made your way in quite difficult circumstances. You have struck life where others would see death. You have made a haven. A haven against the water, against lies and their liars.
We don't need no haven against the water. It rises to wash things clean. I think you need to learn quite a bit, Mr. Spangler, was it?
Correct.
Come, sit by the fire a moment, and maybe I'll be able to spin you a yarn.
A few moments I can spare, yes. I am making my way a pilgrimage of sorts through the city. But I can spare a few minutes.
Well, I guess we can be a bit accommodating to a pilgrim. Do you move closer to the fire?
Yeah.
So he just shoves you into it.
Hot damn! What did I say?
Can I try to avoid it?
Yeah. You can.
None of the options are good options, are they?
I'm gonna. You don't have great options.
You have a gun.
I am gonna be.
Going into
he's
a
already been
fire,
shoved.
Ben.
We are in the moment of you've been shoved. That has happened. He rolled an extreme critical.
Oh, of course he did.
You can try to run through the fire, limiting your exposure. You can try to immediately drop and roll. You can try to say, damn the consequences, power through, and then just try to jump up into the water. You can try to dive over it.
None of the options are good options.
You can try to just stop yourself from going in the fire, but I'm going to let you know as a freebie, that is the hardest option.
Yeah, I figured.
Because of how well he rolled.
Yeah. How far away would I be from the nearest water?
I mean, the quickest route would be about 6-7 feet running across the grass and then up and over a wall.
A 6-foot wall?
Yep. Or
Wall
you
on
could
fire?
turn a hard right and try to climb the stairs.
Which direction has the fewest people in my way?
The fewest?
Probably the way you came. But I'm also there on a boat of I Told You So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, once he makes this decision, you're going to be able to at least be involved.
I am involved. I'm lying in a boat of I Told You So.
I've got to. I got to break for the water.
So, what is your immediate plan?
Immediate plan is I know there's water that I can submerge myself in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I can recover balance, even with everything on fire, run towards the nearest wall to try to get over it.
Cool.
I don't suppose I could also just be firing behind me?
I
Would that be
mean,
too much to ask?
that will make you slower, and it's going to be real hard to climb a wall.
Right, so no, just go.
And I am going to throw it out there. You didn't check the rounds in the pistols, but you know there's no more rounds.
Okay.
Like there was no extra
There's
ammunition.
no extra. Yeah, just going for the wall.
Cool.
That was something I was like, oh, I need to remember to do that, and then I totally forgot to do that. Yeah, sorry about that.
I need to focus on not burning.
Roll me a
good
dex.
Yeah. What can I do to push that? If I even can.
I'll let you just be like, no, I'm just running through the fire.
Yeah.
You've had enough momentum. You're just stumbling forward. You're like, I'm gonna hit that. Your option now to push it is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna hit it, and I'm just gonna try to like keep going.
Remember when you said Horace could survive this?
I didn't make you go and talk.
That is a 13, a hard success.
So, Tommy, you see Horace talking with someone, and you don't need to roll for the body language of this person's not impressed with him. And then you see him get shoved into the fire, and you see Horace stumbling and flailing, and then just kind of like falls through the fire, and by some miracle seems to be mostly like not on fire. Mostly like, you know, he's not on fire. He's not dead in the fire, and he's booking it for the far wall. So he is running directly away from you. So he is now in a chase with the book burners. You are outside of the chase.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to just see the push into the fire. Horace sprints through, and I'm going to go, for fuck's sake, and kind of roll back and start up the engine.
Yep.
And I'm going to start pacing it whichever way's quickest. I think I'm almost at the apex of the furthest away point, but...
Not quite. You are closer to one of the corners. So you're just going to go around the side, up the street.
I'm going to take the quickest route. I'm going to book it to Horace.
Okay.
And I'm going to pray for the first time in a while that there's enough petrol in the tank.
Sounds like it's plenty full, so you have a good feeling about that one at least.
But yeah, I'm going to put all effort into just trying to get to Horace, basically.
Okay, so you're not going to have a problem of getting there in time to aid Horace. Horace, you're in a really quick chase scene here.
Mm-hmm.
Horace,
you have to cross 6 feet of ground while people try to grab you, and then you need to scale a wall.
Yeah.
So, unless you have some fancy footwork or something you want to do, the default is you're just rolling dex for just running.
Right. You said mostly not on fire. That means partially on fire, yes? So I'll
Your
tell you,
hair is smoking?
I'll tell you what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to whip off my jacket, which hopefully has some flame on it,
Sure.
and kind of toss it at the people grabbing me.
Okay.
That's where your gun is.
Is that where your gun is?
I said gun in the waistband underneath the jacket. So hidden by the jacket, not in the jacket. I did say that.
I believe that's correct.
Rewind the tape. I believe I said
So that'll be a fighting brawl.
That was not the right thing. Where even
I mean,
is that?
to throw a thing?
Yeah, no, you're right. Fighting brawl. Okay, that's not the worst.
I believe it's over, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that is a success at 24 of 25.
Yeah. That. I mean, you're not up against trained soldiers with this one. And people with smoke and a person running through the fire and just throwing stuff at them are surprised and caught flat-footed. So you've got a little bit of distance to be able to try to scramble your way up this wall now.
Yep. I don't have any spring shoes that I brought from home, so that would be...
Climb.
Oh, right, there's a stat for that.
How is that?
Not
or
great,
you can,
but...
or you can abandon your current plan for trying to climb it straight, and you could do a hard right turn and run for that staircase.
And how far away is that?
It's about another 6-12 feet.
Okay, and then more importantly, how many other people are there?
I mean, everyone from this group is after you. As I did say a few dozen.
Right. But am I running? Would I be running into more of them?
You'd be trying to run around them.
Okay. I'm just gonna go for the wall and hope that with luck and or pushing I can.
Pushing would be taking your time, and if you fail, they're gonna be on you.
Yeah. Oh. Let me do some math here. Okay, so I need under a 60 to be able to luck my way out of this. But I'm gonna try. Okay. Spending 20 luck.
A lot. You manage to scramble up and over, and basically you collapse into the boat as Tommy goes by. And I'm guessing you're gonna it up, Tommy?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a snarky comment about how's the conscience feeling, and then I'm gonna rev it up.
Well, they do burn books. I figured they would enjoy ignorance.
I am gonna get... Do you have a piloting ability, Tommy? I don't think you do.
No, I don't know if I have some driving, but I don't think so. I definitely didn't prioritize it at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'll let you do drive auto for it, because you're not exactly on the open sea or anything. Horace?
Yep.
Just to see, because they're now running for their boats to come after you.
Ooh,
You failed by 7.
27.
What's my luck at the moment? Because I felt like I didn't use it for most of this campaign.
Your luck is at 44.
I'm gonna burn that. We're trying to get out of here. I'm gonna burn that luck. We need to go.
All right. The boat roars off, and you hear them coming after you, but you've got enough of a lead, and Tommy goes off of the main drag, appears to be off of Houston Street, moves through some of the back alleys and stuff, back and forth in the same direction of where you were heading before, and after about 10-15 tense minutes of heading that way and then slowing down and listening for them, heading that way and listening for them, it seems like you've lost them. And you're able to pull up Sullivan up towards where the Black Rabbit was supposed to be when you visited the NYU campus previously. And that's a really good, intermission time.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the engine and float towards the danger.
So we'll be back in about 5:10. And we'll see you all soon. Hey, welcome back, Wandering Souls. Really appreciate you bearing some time with us. A little bit longer of an intermission this time. We had a couple of things we were getting sorted out. But we're back as the team of investigators putters back up and they get up to Bleecker Street. They look to the left. They look to the right. And they find that it's the same as when they were there in their world. There's no spot for the Black Rabbit to be. There's no open area there for it to be. There's the missing numbers.
I actually realized this during the intermission. I realized because, yeah.
Back to where it all began.
That's got to be here, though, right? That's got to be here, where it all began, where this started.
Could this refer to the gate? Perhaps us coming through disrupted things in some way. Perhaps that is LP.
Or would it be the first time it came? Is it talking about all of this? Not when it began for us? The whatever thing Von Cartwright started?
Or is this the destruction of the city? Back to where that began.
Where would that even be?
Who's to say? Do we hear these sounds?
The water, the music shifting.
The ting, the...
That's the new music. That's non-diegetic.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, that keeps coming through.
No, yeah, that's the...
Okay.
That is in the tension music.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's working.
Central Park. They can more easily see things from Central Park. It will be open. Perhaps we should go there. That is in the direction of the Von Cartwright, yes?
Yep. Von Cartwright is on the Upper East Side, so you'd have to go past or through Central Park to get there.
Let's see if we can discern what's going on.
Okay. Before I start the engine, though, can I hear any kind of traces of boats in the distance?
Yep.
Is that a yep or a nope? Sorry.
That was a yep. You heard the horn of a large boat somewhere in the distance. And it's fairly quiet again here. But like, there's no boats like in the immediate neighborhood hunting for you.
Okay. Well, I hope this isn't a goose chase. Although we have always been interested in the birds at Central Park. That wasn't intended. And I'll start the engine, and I guess I'll head us in the direction of Central Park.
You're gonna drive auto. Thank you.
We dream.
Drive auto. No, that's a 91.
You make your way up to Central Park easy enough. As you start to move your way uptown, especially the areas as you get into the garment district and then up to Midtown, where there's taller buildings, you start to see more signs of life. You see, in the distance, you'll see two people sitting on a fire escape, looking like they're sharing a smoke or something. And you see someone on top of a building. Looks like they're trying to tend to plants or something up there. There's a lot less of the chaos and violence you saw down by St. Patrick's.
I'd like to sort of nod at the people smoking on the fire escape, just to see if they kind of acknowledge me in any way.
Yeah, you get a hand away, you like a lot of those lazy wave.
Yeah, I'll do that sort of that thing you do when you just wave at a canal boat. Just.
What is it that water could wash clean?
Is it a flood? Like Noah's flood? Do they think this is like God's will?
The commandant said that the water is not a curse, it is a blessing. And it washes things clean. Strange thing to say in the midst of a flooded city.
Well, people have strong opinions about New York.
I cannot deny that. This may be a strange question, but how does the sky look?
How does the sky...
Because I imagine Horace has just been laying in the boat in roughly the same position that he entered it, just looking up. Does anything seem weird about the sky?
The sun seems paler. A little less yellow, a little more... looks like a pale white or something. The sky is cloudless otherwise. It's pale blue. You see hints of birds from time to time. Not much else.
Is there any food on the boat? Any like rations or anything?
Nope. You make way up to Central Park. You actually have to stop a little ways away. Couple of the shorter midtown blocks. Down by 53rd, as there's a series of docks, and it looks like they've kind of built up and out little docks and quays to account for the fact that the city's risen a bit, and this area is outside of the water.
Are we still gonna need? Are we still gonna need the boat on the other side of Central Park?
No, it looks like most of this section of Manhattan is higher up. Unless you want to go way around to the far north, which is beyond anywhere y'all have been in gameplay thus far.
Now, would we know, is the Upper East Side higher up than this? Oh, okay, so we'd be going, as far as we
The Upper
can
East
tell,
Side
we'd be going
is
up.
to the east of Central Park.
Okay, yeah. I suppose we have to walk. We have everything from the boats.
Are we sure one of these two places is going to get us out of here?
Not at all. I
That'll
haven't
do.
been sure of anything since I regained my memories.
Well then, I think I'm going to be pessimistic for the first time and tie the boat up.
All right. And do you walk up to Central Park then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it look very different?
Yes. As you get closer, there are a number of things Tommy sees that are familiar, but not from this place in time. The area around Central Park, especially between several of the buildings, has been fortified up with sandbags and barbed wire. It looks like there are a number of ad hoc sniper nests that have been built out in some of the buildings and stuff. And as you get closer, you see a number of flags that are red and blue with kind of like a diagonal division between the two.
While we're still quite early on, I would have said I did want to make sure I take the gun and the hatchet.
I figured. And looks like there's some people here and there in kind of civilian clothes. There's more people up around this area, and a lot of them have, if they are armed, you're seeing rifles here and there. As you get closer, and there's kind of more of a crowd of people, and this is more of a community, and they're manning these defensive points. They have, oh my god, what are they called? Like strips of cloth, either in that red or that blue, tied around their biceps. And as you walk up, people see you and they kind of give you a nod on your way by. And you get towards Central Park, which the park has changed a lot. A lot of the trees have been cut down, and it looks like the area is being tilled, and it's been turned into farmland, actually. You can see up towards the middle of the park. You can see what looks like a herd of sheep grazing. And yeah, there's more evidence of people up here. It's a small community from the looks of it.
How far from here is the spot where Horace turned around, in his memories, turned around to see the Leviathan breakthrough?
You're down by 59th Street now. That is way up by 79th.
Okay. Noted.
79th to as high as like 86th, because it was by the reservoir.
Okay. And so we're down on the south end of Central Park.
Yep.
Okay.
So, is the wall, is that like sort of cutting through Central Park? Is that You said
No,
there
no,
was, like...
it's before it. They've kind of
right.
built barricades and stuff in alleys, or not alleys, in streets to kind of control pathways in, and then in some other streets you would have seen a bus or a couple of cars, and then like barricades and stuff to fully block off certain paths. So they've kind of turned the combination of the pre-existing buildings and whatever they can kind of fill in with to create a de facto wall.
Sure. I'd actually, while we're still, if there's still people around, yeah, I'd like to go over to one of the sort of, is there anyone sort of trying to like sell things, like especially food or anything like that?
No. There is, however, over towards Fifth Avenue, sort of been to your east, or to your right as you're looking at the south, from South Park from the south. It looks like there's an area of some tents, would be probably overly generous. Long bits of fabric that are propped up, almost like an awning or an ad hoc, something for shade.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna head over to that.
Yeah, looks like there's a lot of food there. You can smell like people are cooking or something there.
I want to. I'm saying this to Horace, but I want to kind of head to the reservoir. I think maybe that's important somehow with everything we saw there.
Yes.
But I want to talk to someone. I want to know what happened. Why is everything like this?
Be careful. I've asked people I asked to try to burn me alive.
I'm going to try and get some hints. Just be subtle.
So as you walk over, it looks like there's kind of like a milling of people. There's definitely, you'd think like food carts or something. There's some grills out there, some little pot stoves and ovens that have been hauled out. It looks like this is almost like an open kitchen with people preparing different meals and stuff all over the place. There's kind of a couple of, looks almost like queues up towards different ones. You can smell a lot of street style food, a lot of stuff over charcoal briquettes, basic bread, meat, veggies. Tommy Wood, you fought in the French theater, right? Tommy would not recognize between a third and half the food. It's definitely food. I'm not saying it's like alien slugs. I'm saying it's like, it's Mexican food, and it's other foods that if you lived in New York in the era, you probably wouldn't be seeing that often.
Okay.
So alien slugs, if he was in the French theater, he would have recognized those.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just to be clear.
He was in the French theater, but there's no alien slugs, so he would have recognized.
So he doesn't recognize them, I see.
Yeah.
So, I guess if the queue's not crazy long, I'll wait and kind of just wait to make small talk with the people dishing out food.
Sure.
Do people look to be paying with anything?
Roll me a spot hidden.
Oh. I'd like to, if I can. There we go. Not even close.
So, Tommy, are you going for like a food you recognize, or because like different lines and stuff?
Just generally the shortest queue.
Shortest queue.
Because I'm kind of just being, I was assuming whether paying or not, I'm going to go up going, could you spare some food for a hungry traveler?
Yeah. Yeah, so you get into a line. It moves pretty quickly. People around you in line, they have the general look of people they've been working, and they're working mostly in the mud or something all day. So a lot of the people are dirty, but not like filthy. A lot more of like they've been in the field all morning, or they've been. You kind of get the impression that some of them are clearing out buildings, some of them are trying to do reclaiming and stuff.
Well, we're covered in mud and blood, so we should fit in.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone actually looks back at you and kind of gives you a once over and like offers you their spot in line. And see, look, they look like they had a rough morning.
Something like that. Thank you.
You make your way up to the front, and there's a great big grill. There's hunks of what look like you're pretty sure it's pork. Over the fire, and they're kind of carving off bits as they go, and they're stuffing them into like flatbreads with various veg and stuff. And person says to you, "Spicy?"
Yeah, please.
All right, and he's add some more stuff in, and goes, "Pickles?"
Sure. I don't know.
Pickles.
I don't think Tommy knows what pickles are. Sure. Hey, is there any news about what's going on north?
Harlem or how north?
Well, which part? It looks to Horace to like get the borough
For the cart rides?
if we were heading to cart rides, but I'm not. I'm gonna not explicitly trying to say that.
Yeah, Upper East.
Upper East Side, yeah.
Yeah, Upper East and beyond potentially.
But I think they're still doing work on the Upper East. I haven't been by in a good spell. I know the East River seems to have calmed down finally, so there's hope we'll get fish again at some point.
I'm just, looking for some family up there before. I haven't heard from them since before everything.
And the person looks at you and they give you a sad look. And you notice they're gonna grab another piece, like they cut off another couple pieces of meat and they put one in. And they go, "Well, I hope you find them." And they give you this plate with like 5 or 6 of these stuffed flatbreads on it. And they go, I hope you find them.
Thank you. But
And they go and they start prepping the next person's.
Okay, yeah, I'll realize the guy, and I'll head off back to Horace, or with Horace.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we should eat a couple of bites of this to seem normal, and then.
Yes. It's been a time since we've eaten, I suppose.
There was an event, but not everyone seems as fanatical as our last friends.
That gives me hope. As far as kind of eyes, who is the person nearby who seems to have the most military regalia?
No one.
Nobody around here.
No one.
Okay.
There's actually, since you got into the area with the red and blue, you haven't seen anyone in military regalia.
Okay, but you said
You
a
haven't
few
seen anyone
people
in uniform. They were in civilian clothes.
okay, but then armbands and rifles.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, a smattering of guns. Old rifles, some had pistols, a Tommy gun here or there.
Tommy, they have your gun.
Is it possible, if there was a rip, a tear, the disappearance of an area. Is there like something up the river that could be taken out that would suddenly cause it to flood like this?
There's no big dams or anything further up the Hudson.
I didn't know that as a player or a character, so I thought I did try to ask a character there, but
Nope, I'm with you. No, and I was giving the answer of you would have thought about it, and you're like, a moment of peace and not your head in a swivel. Enjoying, it's heavily spiced.
Oh yeah, Tommy can't handle it at all. He's so
it's it's well cooked, definitely pork.
I just wanted this to be. It would be related, but only in a sort of incidental way, where maybe the rest of the world is a bit more okay. I don't know how to ask people without sticking out if the rest of the world's okay.
Who's to say anyone here knows anything of the outside world? How would they?
They said they're clearing out the Upper East. I wonder if they just mean like damage.
I don't know much about war, but it would seem that delicate infrastructure often does not survive. Things like telegraph lines are often the first to go. I don't see how anyone would have knowledge of the world apart from New York. Who's to say there even is a world apart from New York?
Okay. Well, we've got some food for the journey.
Indeed. Looking around, again, this may be a tough question. By observing kind of the way people move around and interact with each other, does it look like there's anyone who is given a level of deference or respect that would be noticeable?
Roll me a psychology.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. 37 is success.
So Horace is looking around and no, but enough that it's notable. There's no four persons, there's no organizers, there's no one barking orders. Everyone's just kind of being respectful and people are just kind of sorting out issues. There doesn't seem to be anyone getting special treatment or extra deference or anything of that sort.
Okay.
You do notice that you don't see any children, and you're not really seeing anyone over the age of 50, 55-ish. But you also seem to be kind of near a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know exactly what to consider what a lot of these other people are doing as they finish up their meals and head back to work, whether it's mining or construction, really.
Right. I'd like to see if I can find somebody who's kind of relatively by themselves, who looks like they're just getting into their meal.
Yeah.
And sit by them, offer them one of the stuffed flatbreads. I wonder if you could spare a moment for a weary traveler.
Yeah, it's an older woman, and she said, "Oh, thank you, but those are too spicy for me."
Oh, of course, I see.
Yeah. Woman, usually she's in her late 40s. I thank you, but I'm happy to help however I can.
Oh, I would be so in your debt. This may be
Bless.
strange, but I am not from around here. I have come from a very, very long ways away. I would first like to ask you, are you familiar with the name Horace Young? Does that mean anything to you?
No, are you looking for him?
You could say that.
She puts her hand, she pats your hand gently, and she goes, I don't know who that is. I could ask around.
No, that is alright. If you knew his name, that would be enough.
He sticks out then?
In some aspects, yes. He tends to ask a lot of questions. Last I spoke with him, he didn't seem to know who or even where he was.
It was a lot like that after the flood.
The flood, yes. Would you tell me the story of this place? I remember New York. Not in such a way. Years ago. What happened?
Well, a lot happened. A lot happened. The fighting started breaking out. We heard as much from Europe, but it happened here too, and then things started to get rough here in the city, and then the waters rose. And it was hard for a time. I don't know, all that winter was hard for a lot of people, and everyone has their own ways they got through it. But I just know that in the spring, things started to thaw. Some people got together and we started to make the commune. It's where you are. You're the Manhattan Commune.
Of course. I am grateful for your hospitality, I must say. It has been some time since I ate proper food. Feels like years. Does anyone know why the waters rose?
I've heard stories and ideas, but no one knows for sure.
Of course. Such events are mysterious.
Just know to be careful about the waters.
About that. Oh, we don't want to trouble you for too long, ma'am. But what would you say if I asked you if there was something in the water?
Well, there's a lot of things in the water, but
I try to just give her a look of something.
usually if you're over the island, you're okay. But you'd be truly, I'm impressed you made it here safely. There's things, sea serpents or something in the deeper water where the East River and the bay used to be. I guess it's all bay now. You've seen what happened to the bridges, no?
Yeah, we saw them coming in.
Wow. Seems nature is to porous some things.
And what about something smaller, like worms or leeches? But white.
We've seen those around. Seen what they do to a person, and we burn them here. I know that the Yellow Jackets have a different attitude towards them.
And what attitude is that?
You just hear stories. They have vats of them. They're breeding them.
They're the ones with the orange flag.
Orange flag? They're ghastly yellow flags.
That just made me remember. With the cross on them. Yeah. I'm not interested in their attitudes with them.
Who leads the Yellow Jacket? They seem to have much more stringent hierarchy.
They say they have a king.
And what is his name? Is it Cartwright?
Yeah.
Of course. Where would we find this king?
If I knew, I'd be the first to head down there with, well, can't handle a rifle anymore, but a pistol for sure.
Of course.
I know they're talking about some royal marriage between the Cartwrights and the Castains, like that kind of thing matters.
Everything matters, my dear. Is there anything strange on the Upper East Side? I heard it was being cleared away, reconstructed. What stories can you tell me of those neighborhoods?
I know the fighting was bad there. The early days of the commune were rough. Some people demanded to hold on to what they had.
And what is there now?
Well, we're working on it. We're cleaning things out.
We won't trouble you any longer, ma'am. But thank you.
You take care.
Yeah, you too.
She goes back to her wheel.
Yeah,
Edmund has gone and
What do we
made
do?
himself a king.
Well, that doesn't matter. We go back. We stop. We find the gate. We go back. We stop it from before, right?
If that's where the gate is. Where it all started. With whom it all started, perhaps. Edmund is capable of things I still cannot fathom.
Is he going to be with the people at the church? Do we go back there? Would he be somewhere else?
Somewhere hidden away in their territory. I think if we find nothing at the Cartwright house, or if we cannot reach it, we must search for the King of Worms.
All right. I guess I start loading enchiladas into my jacket.
Yeah.
I believe
So
it'll be empanadas.
I'm still curious about stopping past the reservoir. I think we stop past the reservoir on the way. It's sort of on the way anyway. And that's where the first one was.
yeah. So around the reservoir is a construction site, as they seem to be working on expanding the reservoir and making it into the primary source of water again. There's a lot of people bustling around with a great deal of scaffolding and there's no heavy machinery. It's all done by human and animal muscle, right? So there's a lot of shovels, there's a lot of pulleys and scaffolding to be able to like lower big pieces of wood in, and then they are putting together concrete and bricks to expand, and they're a little dig out so it can then flow out to where they are.
I don't know what I thought would happen when I got here. I just thought it helped me remember. Like, this is it, right? This is where it came from.
Possibly. Possibly not. Is this nearby where the memories concluded?
Mm-hmm.
Can I go to that place?
Yeah, it's a little bit, about a minute or two of a walk. It's in a bit of a quieter spot. They're kind of clearing stuff from the north and from the south. They haven't gotten to this section of the park yet. And it's quiet and it's peaceful. The grass is higher. It's been rewilded a bit. There's some animals about. You see squirrels. You could have sworn you saw a rabbit leap away.
Well, is this what you asked? Is this where we're meant to go? If not here, where? Where did it start? This is where I began to unravel. Do I see the plane?
It wasn't a plane. That was a boat
It's a
horn.
boat. I just... Okay. I definitely, for some reason, heard propeller. Just stands, eyes closed, envisioning the space before him as it was.
Mm-hmm.
See the Leviathan break through. And is there anything he could connect? I could do like an idea roll to
Yeah.
LP.
An ideal roll would 100% be viable.
Just for my benefit, what was that?
Is it 90?
90 or 55.
See, this is where all of our great rolls last week, or not last week.
2 weeks ago.
This is where all our great rolls of 2 weeks ago come back to bite us. Because goodness, has this been miserable. Rolls-wise.
Hey, you didn't get set on fire, and that's the important thing.
That is true. I had to spend quite a bit of luck on that.
Hmm.
You know the options. Are you using either of them?
I mean, I don't have the luck to do it. I guess I gotta push. Okay, 30 over 55. Success. It's like sits down cross-legged. Like hands out, just trying to pull things and reconstruct them. Bits of a fragmented psyche just spiraling around, trying to line up.
So you find yourself thinking and trying to pull stuff into order. And do you remember how many folds there were?
We were at 6?
You were at 6 when you walked into the Von Cartwright Manor.
Yes.
So you know the first one was done by who?
Edmund?
Yes. Edmund didn't live at the Von Cartwright Manor.
Right.
You've been to Edmund's apartment.
Right. Which was where relative to here?
It was down by the NYU campus.
Yeah, it was.
The Benedict was right near the NYU campus.
I also was heading to the Cartwrights. I was also heading to the Cartwrights, thinking about the space we saw the strung up person with the heart coming out of them.
We also, to be fair, one of those was also at the Cartwright house. Just
okay.
Later. He was working on it.
Oh, that was a different... That was not strung up in the same way.
Okay, excuse me. He was...
One was a ritual, one was torture.
One was fun. Oh. Edmund did not live at the Von Cartwright house. That's when it all began.
So we've got to go back.
I think I know where we'll find our king.
I think you're right. But do we know what we're gonna do when we find him?
I have a few ideas. If I am correct about our acquaintance, I be able to trick him. If I'm correct. You see, this is not the first time I have searched for the source of the faults. It is not the first time I have come across Edmund von Cartwright. It was in asking when we met that he became violent. He knows me in a way that I do not know him. Perhaps I could convince him it was the opposite. That I am farther along in the crossing of our paths than he. Perhaps it may keep him from killing us. At least long enough to find where it all began. Have you any disagreement?
I'll let you do the talking. And if it doesn't work, let's try and copy his ritual. Maybe that'll get us back.
Oh dear. What I found through several of my attempts in the past or future is that the surface of the universe is quite delicate. That a crack too large or too frequent can destroy it entirely. The seventh fold, the one which included us as willing participants, should Edmund have gotten his way, I had calculated would be more than sufficient. We know that the Black Rabbit is gone. At least 5 folds have taken place here. In returning to our world, there is a chance we could sign this one to destruction.
Isn't that what we want?
To annihilate all of these lives? Destroy what they have built, what they may build. If they are even real.
Well,
It is a thing
that
I
is...
do not wish to dwell on. For the time being, let us hope that it is not necessary. Let us go
Let's
visit
go
the
see.
King of Worms. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna head back to the boat.
Yeah, you head back to the boat and you turn around and head way back down the island. The sun's starting to set by the time you reach there again. And as you pull up out front the Benedict building, you start to hear people in the distance, not like they're coming for you, just like the sounds of people about. And you start to hear some church bells ringing. And it's not just from the church you were at before, it's a few different ones kind of all over area.
I'm guessing we've got a pretty discernible engine, actually.
And then you start to hear the water start to get a little bit less gentle. The waves start to pick up a little bit. It seems like the tide is coming in. But you don't hear engines roaring your way. You don't hear people scrambling in your direction. So it's easy enough to head inside. Do you want to try to climb the fire escape, or do you want to try to head in the front door? Or you bust in someone's window or something?
It feels like it would only be appropriate to go back in the way we left last time.
Exactly. Okay. My old nemesis, the fire escape.
Because the water should rise pretty much to where the edge of the fire escape was, if it's still there.
Oh yeah, it's not hard to get the fire escape. You're able to clamber up it quite easily. You make your way up to the third story. Break the window, you try to jimmy it open, but you can see the room looks worse for wear, but there's that same carpet, the same bookshelf in the bedroom, because there were windows in the bedroom as well. The same small little kitchenette with the stove, the other bookshelves.
Is there anyone in there?
Nope.
If I just try the window, will it open?
Yeah, we're in. We're in is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you're still in the balcony.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said
fire escape.
You can't do it.
You try the window. Roll me a luck.
Okay. No.
Window appears to be. You can see the latch is pulled inside.
I'm gonna swing at it. I'm gonna use my axe.
Oh yeah, use the hatchet. Glass shatters. And yep.
I don't know if we're trying to be subtle right now.
I don't think it will much matter.
After you.
But of course. Your jacket?
Yeah, I'll use my kind of coat to like cover the broken glass.
Yep.
And while
back at the
Horace while Horace is going in, I would like to look around in case there is any sort of movement around the area.
Roll me a spot hidden.
Horace, if you could.
Yes, right. Spot hidden.
You gotta spot the hidden things and hide the spotting things.
Goodness.
It's a failure by 20. All's clear.
Never mind.
Yeah, you head in, no problem. The paintings are gone. The place looks like it's seen better days, and there's the smell of mildew and black mold in the air. But you get the feeling that's more from the damp than anything. There's still books on the shelves. There is a stack of what looks like fresh firewood next to the stove. When I say fresh, I don't mean like directly in from the cold, but I mean like it doesn't look like it's rotting. It looks like it's newer.
If I go into the bedroom, what do I see?
The bed's there. It's made. There's still the bookshelves along that one wall, which you know how to get, not like you know how to open the door behind them. But it looks largely pretty similar to how you left it.
I would like to make the door not closed.
Yeah. You open it, and there is a small workroom. The body is not strung up on the wall there, although there are 2 large meat hooks fastened up on the other side of the wall, where the arms have been held up. There's a work table with a book on it. What languages does Horace Young speak again?
English and German.
You actually would be able to read this then. It is... I don't know what it would be in German, but the translation is the source of mathematics.
That seems to be exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm sorry, I have to run for just 1 second.
No!
I will be right back.
Yep. Tommy, you're in the main room, right?
Yeah, in the meantime, while Horace is just kind of looking, I'm going to search the rest of the house briefly just to look for signs of life, whether that's a person, obviously, but more likely like somewhat like evidence that someone's actively living here or at least using this place occasionally apart from the fire.
Well, there's a lack of dust. It is kind of wet and mildewy. The books are all dry-ish. I mean, the ambient humidity is quite high. So they do have that kind of feel to them books get when they've just been like in a really high humidity environment for a while. They swell a little, and the paper feels a little like you can feel the texture more.
Mm-hmm.
There's popping around, there's little signs that someone's been here time and again. Stuff like there's a boot scraper near the closet that has a small pile of dirt under it. The waste basket has mostly it looks like a lot of lids for tin cans in it.
And I'm just sort of remembering that when we were here, he said to the professor that he was in the other bedroom, right? Or in the... If I'm sort of remembering the layout. When Edmund... Sorry about that.
There's only one bedroom. He lied to the cops and said, "Oh, I was in the bedroom."
Right, okay. Never mind then. So that's kind of it then. I'll just kind of go back to Horace to see him studying the books.
He's in the secret room. There's a pile of candles. But I don't mean like a literal pile. I mean like there's a number of candles that are tidied up near each other. There's a couple of small tins. Looking through them, looks like they have salt. They have a powder. It's kind of a grayish powder you don't recognize. A white powder you don't recognize.
And as well, I have the source of mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
If I flip through that, is it annotated at all?
Is it annotated? Yes. You do not recognize the handwriting.
Not from back in the library?
No. It is a... it's a lighter hand. Someone who has a more flowing and smooth handwriting, and writes in small, precise handwriting.
Is that in English or in German?
I was just about to say, it jumps around between English, German, French. You're guessing Russian? Because there's a different alphabet. Looks like the Cyrillic alphabet. And Latin. The jumping around does seem to be with a purpose, though. It doesn't seem to be chaotic. It seems to be far more of generally it's in English, which then kind of like when you're doing an annotation and you kind of have like a sub note. Looks like this person like tends to indent a little bit, and then these sub notes are often in other languages. And it looks like they're referring to either specific quotes or phrases or titles and the like. And it seems to be that's when it's jumping into these other languages. So you're able to get from some of the German ones, you get a couple of names from books, some odd turns of phrase or very specific mathematical definitions. So, for example, over one particularly tricky section about basically trying to prove the existence of anything, trying to go back to that first principle of what is to be a single thing, what is a thing. A lot of the annotations are compare with, and then be a line in German will be one definition, and then to be or, and then there's a section in French, which you're guessing is like someone else's take on it.
Okay, yeah.
This is like the House of Leaves of math books.
A little bit.
If there was one time I was hoping to see my own handwriting, this was it. But where is it? Now, you said the bed was made.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like it has been kept? Like it is
Yes.
like it has been, like it's in the process of being, or not in the process, but like it is used on a regular basis.
Yeah, you and Tommy kind of compare notes because Tommy's looking around, and the feeling you get is that someone isn't staying here every night, but someone is using this as like they're here not irregularly. It almost feels like a campsite.
Right.
Because there's no food stored here. There's nothing perishable. But there's kind of like the supplies that if someone were to haul their food in,
right,
they could hang out for however long the food and water lasts.
Is there any evidence of a bird being in here?
No.
Okay. Well,
there are no leavings. There are nothing like that.
Mm.
And I don't...
When we pulled up here, was there any sign of other people, like, immediately nearby?
No.
take it that was a door to the room?
Nope. It was from outside.
Mm. Well, I suggest we wait here for the denizen of this room to arrive. Perhaps near the window, in case we need to make a hasty exit.
I'm with you, but I do want to investigate the wall where I saw the dead person the last time I was here. I'm not sure. I think this is just a haymaker, but I almost kind of want to use like a cult or something. I think I only have the sort of 5%, but use like a cult or something to just investigate this area and kind of sense if there's any kind of energy, because I put my hands in a portal the last time I was here.
Yep. Horace?
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the cult unless there's a better one.
Well,
Yeah.
you go take a quick look at it, and you're investigating, and there's signs of blood and signs like there's old blood's been mostly washed away, but you look really close, and you can see evidence in bits. Right? There's the signs and the meat hooks, but it looks like someone has definitely cleaned up here. Horace, were you by the window? You said.
Yes.
Cool. Tommy, you remember there was another thing you found here previously with Horace. There was a symbol under the rug that you had to escape before you figured out much more than that. So you remember that was one of the things that you were dealing with. Horace, I'm going to need a sanity.
He always does so great at these.
Recently I have. Believe it or not. I don't imagine this going well.
He says in the futuristic fever dream of a destroyed New York.
Well, it didn't go well, in case you're wondering.
Horace, you're going to lose 2 more.
Okay. Basically
As
nothing at this point.
you see a hulking humanoid-ish shape on your boat, and it looks like it's sniffing it. And then it looks up at you, and it has this leathery skin across it, these big watery white eyes. It's like a pale, it's like fish belly white. And it looks up at you, and it goes, and you hear a deep, and it starts to clamber up the fire escape. And it's slow, but it's big.
Definitely gonna back away from the window. Tommy? Tommy.
I'll come into the room like, hey, do you remember there was some markings under this rug?
Yes, the rug. We need to move quickly.
You're alright? You look like you've seen something. I'm kind of like...
Something is coming.
The rug. What?
Oh, big and white and definitely out to eat us. The rug. What is under the rug?
There is a large circle. There are 3 lines that kind of do notches into the circle, each about a third of the way through. And there's a great big set of symbols on the inside.
Is that the same as what I saw the last time we were here?
It's similar, but not quite.
Okay. And then, given what I learned at the Cartwright house about creating folds, does it look like this is set up for that purpose?
No, this looks decidedly more advanced.
Okay. If I I go through the book. The source
What
of
is that?
mathematics. I want to look for diagrams of this sort, like there kind of were in Code du Monde. Any indication of what I can do with this?
Roll me with us.
Can I spend the luck on that?
Yep.
It's a 20 of 19.
Ooh. Ooh.
So basically, this is a ritual that's set up to be almost ready to go. All you need is one of those two powers. And you look around and you see evidence of both the gray and the white one having been used here. And you need 3 candles, one put at each of the spots. And lit.
So it uses one of the powders?
One or both.
One. Is there any indication of what those are designed for? What each of them do?
Yeah, so from your methods, you know that those powders they've been developed to basically help make this be a more direct equation and make it so it's more precise. So what each of those powders those are basically the essential salts. That is an essential reference to a specific other reality.
And there's record of both of them, or there's evidence that both of them were used.
Yeah.
And there's no indication as to which powder refers to which reality?
Not at this time, no.
Of course.
You did investigate like everywhere else in the city before coming back.
Yeah. Tommy, grab 3 candles from that room, and there are jars, vials of different powders. Bring them here.
I'm sprinting. I'm straight on it. I believe him.
Okay. You hear the shuddering of the metal of the fire escape groaning and almost like twisting under the weight of this thing. Tommy, you're plopping candles down. You can see the wax spots from where they were before, and you're lighting them as you go. When you also see the creature, it's at the window, and it's staring at the two of you with these great, big, lidless eyes. The small fire from the lighter reflects off of them, and it seems almost like its very skin, its very eyes are hungry for that light. Tommy's gonna need to make a sanity roll.
Yeah, go ahead. I got faith.
Why? Nope. 93 over 31.
That's not
Tommy
good.
also only loses 2.
Okay.
Thomas,
Horace, is this gonna work?
if we get it right. White, grey, or
Turn
both. Can I...
I want to fire everything I've got at this monster to kind of keep it at bay for a second while Horace works.
You got a pistol, you got a hatchet.
Yeah, I'm just taking the pistol out and I keep clicking until it stops making, like, explosions noises.
While that's happening, can I... a final idea roll? Any indication of which or both I should use?
Give me 2 firearm rolls for Tommy while I double... which things do you have? Do you have the information to make rolls about that?
See,
Got
handgun.
that. You got
Handgun
that.
is not good. Handgun is very bad.
No, I'm a
He is
rifle guy. This is
74.
bad.
No, it's but he has bonus because it's close, so that's actually fine. Wow, he actually hit with all of them.
Hey.
A lot of bulk, and it's close. You can roll me a mythos. Tommy, you fire wildly at this thing. Whoever left you this revolver left you with a full set of rounds in it. As 6 bullets explode across the room and they tear into the flesh of this thing. Chunks of skin and fat get ripped off of it, and it doesn't seem to care as it starts trying to squeeze its way in through the window. The window's too small for it, so it's just kind of shoving parts of the building aside, and the brick facade is kind of crumbling around it. You can hear the wood creaking as it's like pushing at the frame of this building, trying to get in towards you. This thing is...
Whatever you're gonna do, Horace, do it now.
It is a success at a 17.
It's
I'm gonna use 8 luck to push it to a hard success.
Okay. So you are not 100%. You are 70-80% sure you want the gray powder. I'm going to let you know, so you aren't just burning more luck. That is a result of the information you lack.
Yep.
You do not have the resources or the time to get that to 100% right now.
I can never be sure. Something tells me I never could have. I never have been able to be sure. Certainty is foolishness. He'll complete the ritual with the gray powder.
Okay.
Oh.
You throw the gray powder, and each of you feel this strange pulling sensation. It feels almost like someone's gently pulling your hair, but from every point in your body, as it feels like you're pulled and twisted. Light itself seems to stretch and shift, and then quickly it all goes to black. As your brain, under the literal pressure and the inability to understand and comprehend what you're seeing and what's around you, simply flickers out and throws you into unconsciousness as a safety mechanism. Can I get a con roll for each of you, please?
So that's a failure from Horace.
Mm-hmm.
And a success for Tommy.
Tommy, you wake up with that strange hangover that you feel like you had not too long ago, of coming to after being heavily medicated with whatever those doctors gave you and you tried to help Olive. You can smell the first hints of winter in the air. The shifting smell of autumn that you've come to recognize in much of New England and much of the northeast of America. And you kind of slowly are coming to, shaking off the drugs. And you're in a white tunic and white pants. And they're scratchy and unpleasant. And you kind of start to come to, and the room you're in is not large, and it's pretty bare. The bed you're on is a basic cot with a metal frame. The window has bars. The floor has a drain in the midst of the tile. And you get up and you look out the window. And you can see the grounds of wherever you are. It feels vaguely familiar, but you're not sure you recognize it. It's that sense of deja vu. And after a little bit, you hear a voice at the door. You turn, you see a very large man. Close shorn hair, practically a mountain of muscle. He goes, "How are you feeling today, Mr. Cole?"
What? Where am I? What's going on?
Lost again, are we?
I'm serious. Tell me where I am.
It'll be okay. Let's get you breakfast, and I'll explain over that.
Is he leading me out the room, or?
He's waiting to see what you're gonna do.
I have a suspicion of where I am, so I'm not going to say too much further for fear I may look weird.
If you walk towards him and you don't look like you're gonna be violent, he kind of steps aside and offers the arm.
Lead or whatever.
And you see there's another attendant there. And your suspicions, you're pretty sure you know where you are. As you start to walk down the hallway, you can feel the hardwood on your feet. And you can smell the oatmeal and the coffee you're going to have for breakfast.
What's the date?
It's November 5th, Mr. Cole.
What year?
It's 1923, Mr. Cole. Same as yesterday.
Thank you.
We can probably get you some coffee today if you keep behaving.
I'd appreciate that. I always like the coffee in New York.
He gives you a queer look an odd look and then kind of nods. Horace. Oh, yeah, go for it.
I just wanted to. How long have I been here?
Since July.
Tommy just kind of looks down, kind of sad for a minute.
Horace. You wake up and everything hurts. You're also in a similar room, similar smell in the air. There's 3 main differences between your room and Tommy's. The first is that there's a small basic shelf where you have a couple of books that it let you keep. The second is that your door has a small hatch towards the bottom that they can slide food in. And the third are the layers upon layers of symbols and words that you've written all over the walls in food and anything else you can write with. So that's going to be it for tonight. Horace and Tommy will return for the next season of the Black Rabbit Society.
Yeah!
Oh.
Thank you again to Syrinscape. You are providing awesome sound effects and music as always, and a great kind of mellow, sad, ongoing tension to the evening. Our very own Joel will be back for the next episode. You can find him also if you want to run some awesome Curse of Strahd with this kind of sound effects and everything at playing.games. That's what I get for trying to do it without looking at the script. StartPlaying.Games/GM/leonidas-games. Drew returns tomorrow night running the Doors and Deities Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Peter Edgar does the awesome player art. I'm glad he doesn't have to do any more just yet. You can find him at the Dungeon Scratcher on patreon.com. We've got some more things coming up, so it'd be really awesome if you subscribed, took advantage of September. And Wandering Souls, we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Somber jazz hands.
Oh yeah, it's me, right.
Ah!
Forgot about that. I was busy working on my jazz hands and I didn't... So let's see, I need to... Yes, good night. Jazz hand.